floor is yours.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. We got a few things to talk about, don't you think?
Yeah, we can get past the Kansas stuff real quick if you want.
Welcome, everybody. What a week we have had in NASCAR world. It's just been absolutely amazing. As Brian said, we're going to get to a few quick news hits. We're going to cover the results of Kansas. And then we'll get into the big thing. So
Big things. There's three things. I know we're going to be late on one of them, but there's big things.
There are. All right. I can't believe I don't have this pulled up. I'll let you do it. The results of Kansas.
Bubba Wallace, huge surprise win, but it was a strong win. I can't deny. I can't say he backed into it. It just wasn't his car. It wasn't his car though. They used Kurt Busch's notes. Hello. But good for him.
It was his. And again, you and I both, we love to beat up on Bubba.
Yeah, it was a good win for him.
I'm gonna take one for the team here. It is his crew chief. It is his crew. I think it's basically the same car. They just changed the number on it.
It's not the crew. The crew's not the same. The crew chief is. That's it. No crew swap.
I thought it was a crew swap. Okay, I stand corrected. Yep. However, he, like you said, he did not back into that. That was a strong
win. It was good. But the thing is, I have a question. I guess you can say it now. Do you think Denny kind of held back to make,
absolutely. Absolutely. It reminded me, and I know I don't want to quite make this comparison, but it reminds me to Daytona of 2001, where Dale held off everybody to make Michael the winner of that Daytona, where Dale died. It was very. I don't want to say he
didn't block anybody, but he didn't try, because if it was anybody else, he would have gone up there.
He'd have gone after him.
Yeah.
But, absolutely. Denny did everything he could without being stupid to make sure his team. I mean, there's no two ways about that, because if it wasn't Bubba, if it wasn't his own team, he'd have fought a lot harder.
Yeah.
And that's the fact. So,
like I said, it was a good winner. Like I said, he didn't back into it. Denny didn't let him pass. He had a strong car. The only thing that bothered me is his hush to everybody. Like, really? Why are you hushing? You gotta win. Be congratulatory. Now you're gonna show it in everybody's face? Stop. You whine when you don't win, and when you do get a win, you tell everybody to shut the fuck up. Essentially, how I took it. That bothers me.
I agree.
He
needs to learn humble. A little bit. Yeah.
Be humble. Say, yo, thank you, but he just shushing everybody. That bothered me. But whatever. Congratulations. Denny second, Christopher Bell third, which congrats to him. He locked himself into the top 12. He's the only one so far. Then Bowman, which surprisingly, Bowman was fourth. I had him in my league, and then I took him out, dummy. Then Truex, another dominated Toyota race, by the way. Then Byron, then Chastain, Larson, Blaney, and Suarez top 10. After that is Elliott, Cindric, Briscoe, Dillon, Busch, McDowell, Logano, Noah Gragson, Justin Haley, then Dillon. Then notables was obviously Kyle Busch, 26, had a bad day. Ty Gibbs, 34. Reddick, 35th. Harvick, 36. Another bad day, must win for him coming up to Bristol, which he can do.
Yeah, he's got a good record. As far as the playoff standings, you got Bell, Byron, Hamlin, Logano, Blaney, Bowman, Elliott, Larson, Chastain, Suarez, Reddick, and Cindric. Below the cutoff line, you got Kyle Busch, Dillon, Briscoe, and Harvick, which just wrecked my brackets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just totally wrecked
I can still get it if Harvick wins and Busch goes up, because I took I took Bowman and Cindric. I don't think I'm gonna. I'm definitely not gonna get it unless Bowman crashes out first lap. So
As far as the people I didn't think could make it, I took Briscoe, Suarez, Bowman, and Dillon. So I'm about 50%
I
on
don't think
that.
anybody. If they finish like this, Busch, Dillon, Briscoe, and Harvick, no one thought that. No one would win. It'd be over.
Yeah.
No one would
Well,
pick those three at 4 out.
I agree. Kyle Busch, what is he? 2 points out, so he has to beat Cindric by 2 positions. Austin Dillon's only 3 out. Harvick is the one that's in trouble. He's got to win. He's a full race behind right now. There's no way he continues unless he wins Bristol. So, all right, like there wasn't anything really, in my opinion.
The only thing that stuck out was the tire issue. They had brought a new tire to Kansas, and they kept fucking blowing. Kept having flat tires.
I got that wrote down. They had a lot of.
So why would you bring a new tire there and obviously not test it to?
Well, they said that. I think this is the tire that they actually ran at California.
I don't know. I just know they said it was a new tire, and I was not impressed with how many people got screwed out. Reddick was one, Harvick was one.
Yeah,
there was multiple that got screwed by this tire.
It wasn't a good thing. There was a lot of flat tires. That's a fact. So we did the race results. We did the standings. On our picks, I picked Harvick to win. You picked Chastain. I was so far off. That's not even funny.
On that.
Yeah, you did. Busher for you, Keselowski for me, and I don't have
Busch. Let me bring it up. Busher was 15th. Keselowski was 25th.
All right, you win that one. We both said Bubba would finish in the top 20, and oh my God.
Yeah.
And same with Denny. So you win.
Fantasy, I didn't have any. I think I
beat you.
Yeah,
and you know what? I beat you without getting a single pick'em right. I missed all 4 of them. I picked Jones over Suarez.
Yeah, I did really bad.
I picked Kyle Busch over Hamlin. That didn't work. Larson over Elliott.
Yeah, I had Reddick, Busch, and Harvick, and I took Harvick out, but still, like, I had 39 points. Pfft. I had a bad week.
I'm talking about the pick'em on the bottom where you get your extra.
Yeah, I know. Points. I was just saying the points. Yeah, I did really bad.
And I took Blaney over Logano. Like I said, I missed all 4 of them.
I got 3 out of the 4.
I didn't. You had 153. I had 170.
No, I had 139. I had a really bad week.
That's not the whatever.
You had 170. Alf had 153. Lunar had 153, and they didn't even make fucking picks.
But I had Larson, Chastain, Bell, Elliott, and Reddick. And I had Ty Gibbs in the garage, and I just left him there. So anyway, we're done with that. Some real quick. Let's hit some news. I want to cover the little things that I wanted to bring out before we go to what's remaining, as far as I'm concerned, the 2 big things. Jeremy Clements wins his appeal.
Yep.
We talked about this last week.
2 weeks ago. Whatever Daytona podcast was. It was 2 weeks ago. Yep.
nobody understood why he got slammed the way he did, because the modification that they cited for him breaking whatever rule literally reduced
Yeah.
his horsepower
Yeah.
versus enhancing anything. Well, it came out, I think it was early today or late yesterday. He won that because.
And he's playoff eligible now.
Yeah, he's playoff eligible now because he did not do anything to enhance his performance.
Correct.
And this is where NASCAR needs to get a hold of them damn selves. I am sick and tired of them pounding people.
They need the research of what they did first before they come out with a huge article and, you know, bad shame on you, everybody, oh, you cheated type thing. They should have took it to R&D center and say, okay, they should behind closed doors say, hey, we found this wrong with the car. We're going to research. And they could go back and forth and they could have said, hey, you know, that modification doesn't add horsepower. You can go test it. And, you know, then come out later and say, hey, you know, what's a statement? Say, hey, we're not going to penalize them. We found a modification, but it didn't enhance the car. Here you go. Like, they can say what they found. Yeah, yeah.
They screwed themselves. Yeah. Whatever it is that they did with that intake.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't help themselves.
But the thing is, though, did they know that willingly do that to the car? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a vendor part. They don't. It's a vendor part. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not anything they, you know, like in the good old days when they used to machine everything themselves and put it together. This is a vendor part. It comes sealed, and they put it on. And that's the other side of what I'm saying. There's nothing they did.
Yeah.
Whatever the vendor is, and again, I don't know if they had a misfire, if they did something like a whole bunch of them. I think if they did a whole bunch of them, you hear about that. Or whether this was a one-off. But I said it in the beginning, whoever Jeremy Clements' owner is.
It's Jeremy Clements Racing. It's his dad. It's their own.
He was on Sirius XM. He says, I get that the part wasn't to spec, but it didn't help us.
Yeah.
It reduced our horsepower. It didn't enhance. He says, I'm flummoxed. I don't get it. So anyway, congratulations.
Yeah, the first
he took a lesser piece of equipment, won a race, and now he's in the damn playoffs still. Yep. And I love it. I love it. One more little hit, and it just came out today. Brandon Jones is leaving JGR and going to
the number 9
Junior Motorsports. Why are all the rats jumping off the ship at JGR?
That's a good question.
I don't. There's
maybe he says his future is, you know, with maybe he's looking to the future and says, I don't have a cup ride. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think he could go in the 19 next year, not next year, but the 2024. So I don't know. Maybe Junior, because Junior's got money and he knows that car is a winning car because Noah's won 4 to 5 races this year. And, you know, he's saying, hey, you know, I can come over here and maybe he's more input. Maybe he feels better over there. But yeah. If think about it, two Toyotas, 2 big Toyota drivers. They're not just like development. Jump to Chevy now.
Yeah. That was when that came out today. That caught my attention. I was like, "Holy hell!"
Brandon Jones, not a no name. Like he's an actual name and a contender in the Xfinity. He can go in that 9 car and win next year. It's that easy. Yeah. That simple. Like he's not like a developmental driver.
And it gets his foot in the door with Hendrick Motorsports because Junior is 100% Hendrick supported.
Yes.
So. All right, those are the 2. There's one more before I want to get to the big thing, unless you've got something else.
What is it?
North Wilkesboro.
Oh, actually, like a few hours ago, I saved it. NASCAR announced the 2023 Cup season. They released the schedule. I got to go to my pictures. Yes. I guess we can go through. It starts.
Go ahead. It's not a major thing. It's
It's not a major thing, but it's one of those things they've released it. There's only 2 Saturday night races. I'm pretty sure there's like Labor Day and Memorial Day and Fourth of July, not 4th of July, but that's a road course. But those will be night races also. It's the normal Clash, Daytona, then California, Vegas, Phoenix, Atlanta, Coda, Richmond, Bristol, Dirt, Martinsville, Talladega, Dover, Kansas, Darlington, the Newark, Wilkesboro All-Star Race in May, Charlotte, the WWTR, Sonoma, then Nashville, then Chicago Street Race, Atlanta, New Hampshire, Pocono, Richmond, Michigan, Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, and Daytona. I was trying to see if there's any multiple races. Why are we going to Kansas twice a year?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of Texas.
Why are we packing Bristol with dirt?
Because it actually draws views and whatever, but like Texas is Texas even here? I'm looking. I don't even see Texas on the. Oh, Texas is in the playoffs.
Yes.
It's no longer a regular season race. But they get rid of Kansas and put something else there in the playoff. Like, it shouldn't be a playoff race. But sorry, I just went off. But when Pocono, Richmond, Michigan, Indianapolis road course, and Watkins Glen, then Daytona to end the regular season. Then it's Darlington, Kansas, Bristol, Texas, Talladega, Charlotte, Roval, Las Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, and Phoenix. I'm pretty sure that's the same as this year too. Yeah. The notables obviously are Chicago Street Race and Newark, Wilkesboro for the All-Star Race, which I think they're going to add that.
They announced today that Xfinity is also going to race the Chicago road course.
Yeah, there's Xfinity.
God, I hope they got bulletproof.
And Newark, Wilkesboro is going to host all of them too. Like, it's going to be a big thing.
Believe me, I'm trying to get tickets for North Wilkesboro. That's going to be so cool. The last race there was actually 1996 NASCAR sanctioned Cup race. We had talked about this before the news broke.
Well, if people don't know, literally we ended the show last week talking about North Wilkesboro. We ended the podcast, was uploading it, and the news broke that they're going to All-Star Race, and we're like, what the hell? We could have it'd been huge, but it was just bad timing.
Well, again, with me living in North Carolina, and like I explained before, it's not a big national thing, but locally, North Wilkesboro and Rockingham, I'm telling you right now, are both huge. And they're doing, they took COVID money, they took everything they could find to put North Wilkesboro back together, along with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his influence. And I remember during COVID, they were out there scanning that thing for iRacing. I guess the only thing they have to really do at North Wilkesboro, besides enhancing the stands, is put in the safer barriers, which they can do that in a weekend.
Yeah.
And they've announced that the trucks are going to go there also as a regular points-paying race. And I really believe that the state officials here are going to, once they get North Wilkesboro completed to where NASCAR says, okay, we're going to race here, which they already have. It's just they've got to get
update the facilities
done. Yeah, they've got to get the work done. Believe me, local media is all over this, and there are so many people. They're just volunteering.
Yeah.
Folks that were at the last real race there that, they're older than me right now, and they're showing up. What can I do to help?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
It's like that we talked last time. Now that NASCAR is officially announced that they're going back, before it was like $18 million they got combined to help make this track updated and whatever. Now that NASCAR is involved, they're going to also put money into it, not just for the safer barriers, but for everything. So now they got NASCAR money to put into the track but like the Coliseum bullshit. So this is a good thing. And it came out, the reason being is because the way Texas was handled, the way Texas did bad, nobody cared, it was horrible racing, blah, blah, blah. Is it Fox? I believe Fox, they want to go back to its roots. And also with Dale Jr., I'm pretty sure he had a big push and blah, blah, blah. Is now we're going back to North Wilkesboro, which is great. So now I'm hoping now that they're going back to their roots, like you said, Richmond, and we need to research other tracks and like what's the other tracks that NASCAR used to go to that they don't, that could use upgrading, and what can those be? You know,
I firmly believe, and again, because this doesn't go national, Sirius doesn't carry it much. Again, it's the local thing that we hear so much about. Living where I live, Rockingham is next. Once they get done and do everything NASCAR wants to be done with North Wilkesboro, and I think we're on kind of like a glide path to where North Wilkesboro will be on the regular season schedule on 2024.
I believe
really
so.
do.
Yeah. But the thing is, I know they're holding off on the repaves because they want to race on this one. So they're saying it's good. So I don't know how long it'll take for a repave. So they may wait till after
another weekend.
Yeah.
That's all it would. I mean, if they can make the freaking Coliseum and tear it down in 7 days, they can definitely repave North. But I really believe, and again, I'm basing this not on anything that I've heard nationally, on what I'm hearing locally. And believe me, Roy Cooper right now is like a hero god in NASCAR's world, because he also helped make a lot of this happen. But I think once they get north with the safer barriers, the stands expansion, all the cleanup and everything that they have yet to do at North Wilkesboro, they're going to move to Rockingham. And that's going to be the next one that they're going to put back on the map. And it's going to take, I mean, isn't it amazing? We were talking last time, well, North Wilkesboro, 4, 5, 6 years, boom, next year.
Yep.
So if they made it happen this fast, I think they can make Rockingham happen in less than 5 years. But we'll see. I'm just so freaking excited that North Wilkesboro is actually back on the schedule.
Yeah, I think it'll be, well, it won't be a yearly all-star race because they want to switch it up now. But I think after 2023 success, because it's going to be a success.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge thing. They're going to put it on the schedule, and that's going to be the catalyst type thing. It's going to be like, well, this works. No shit type thing.
So, all right. So we're both happy about that. You got anything else you want to talk about?
You want to go into the Kyle thing? Because I want to play his announcement.
Go
not the speech, but him saying blah, 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 and then we can go in.
Go.
Let me get it all sized up because I didn't do that.
So now for the moment you all couldn't wait for. I'm excited to announce that I'll be taking my talents to welcome North Carolina to drive the number 8 car for Richard Childress Racing starting in 2023. I'd like to introduce you to my new boss, Richard Childress.
Okay. Now, that was him pretty much in his interview with his little press conference to saying he announced he's going to the 8 car with Richard Childress, horse's mouth, which I would prefer him going to the 3 car because he has that personality, but I understand Austin, it was like, no, that's mine, type thing. But huge move for him going to the 8 car. Now that screws Tyler Reddick because there's no charter yet, 3rd charter. So they said they're going to buy another one. So why would you spend $20 million for a guy to get a 3rd charter for a guy who's leaving you?
Because it was good to say in the pod or in the
yeah.
announcement. I stand by what I say. Tyler Riddick. So far, I'm 50% right. I said he would not be in the second he announced he was going to 2311.
Yeah.
I said he would not be in that 8 car in 2023.
They'll find a way just to somehow annul the contract.
No. I will go one step farther. He will not be racing for Richard Childress in 2020.
That's what I'm saying. They'll annul the contract, so he's out, and he'll go to.
They'll park him somewhere. I think Richard Childress would actually buy a charter and give it to Michael Jordan before he buys a charter to put Tyler Riddick in the car.
That's what I'm saying. So why would you spend $20 million to buy a charter for Tyler Reddick? But the only thing is, Richard Childress could be thinking about the future because he does have Austin Hill who raced in the 33 at Michigan, so he could be thinking, let Reddick get that team organized or started, and then put Austin Hill in that car for in 2024. So that might be a thought process, but yeah, kicks him out of his own car.
Again, everybody knows I'm old school, and there's a few rules of life that us people 60-ish live by. And when you break loyalty and you break trust, there's no coming back from that. And that's what Tyler Riddick did in Richard Childress's eyes. He broke the loyalty. He broke the trust. You had texted me earlier in the week that you were laughing your ass off that Childress only gave him a 1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour.
And I said, well, that's an hour more than what Tyler gave him.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes Tyler gave Richard. Hey, I'm going on this to, yeah. So,
we can discuss because I think it's going to probably take till the season's over before we really know what's going to happen with Tyler Riddick. But I will go out there and stick my wiener out on the edge and say he won't be racing at Richard Childress Racing next year. I do believe there might be some kind of plan akin to Clint Boyer when he left Michael Waltrip Racing and was in waiting to go to Stuart Haas, where they park him in a, maybe a Spire or something like that to just keep him, let him stay on the track. But I'm like you. I cannot believe that Richard Childress is going to spend $20 million to buy a charter to keep that boy around. Whether Richard Childress says it or not, I've been watching this sport for the better part of 40 years. The man is pissed.
mm-hmm.
And once you make him mad, there's no coming back from that. It is what it is. And I think that's kind of, with Kyle Busch, I've only seen him mad at him one time, and that was at Texas Truck Race. And did you? Okay, I know you did.
Yeah.
How cool was that when he walked onto the stage and said,
"Here's
your
my
signing
watch. Signing bonus. Here's my watch. Here's a watch. Hold this watch." Yeah. So they had fun with it for sure.
Cool or what?
Yeah.
And we'll get to some of the other cooler stuff once we get through these semantics, but that was so cool. Here's your signing bonus. To me, a more plausible scenario would be for 2311 to put on buy a third charter. God knows Michael Jordan's got the money.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. And again, I'm not going to go out and say definitely some things, but I still wonder whether Kurt Busch is going to come back as a driver. I know this is all in-house stuff with them, and we all have heard Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, and Kurt Busch say that even when his days of driving are done, 2311 is his home, his forever home. He's going to move into management. I don't know, competition manager. I don't know. Because Kurt Busch is a smart man. He really is. He's so analytical. He may say, you know what? I'm done, and then they'll move Tyler over a year earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, because I just still think that, and I feel sorry for Tyler. I don't, because he
put it
made
on
his own bed.
himself. He put it on himself.
Yeah, he put it on himself. But when we get done, when that checkered flag falls at Phoenix, that'll be the last race that he races for RCR. I just don't see them putting on another. And they may put on another team, but I don't think Tyler Reddick's going to be driving.
No.
I just don't see it. Some really bad blood, some really bad moves on Tyler's part. And you just don't do that to Mr. Childress. I'm sorry. RC, as they were calling him.
RC, like Mr. H.
Yeah, he's trying to get himself whatever. But anyway, Kyle Busch, they said that they're still in negotiations or trying to figure out how to bring his truck team over to Chevy, and I heard and I can't remember his name. I think he was vice president of competition with Chevy Motorsports, and he says they're working through getting KBM, all 4 teams, over to convert to Chevy. I think they'll get the job done. I really do.
I heard through not the grapevine, but the internet. It's not about getting the charters swapped over. It's the drivers that are in those trucks. They also have Toyota contracts, and those contracts don't end. So they got to get all new drivers that are Chevy drivers, unless Toyota lets them out of their contract. So that's one of the big issues. Is right now he's got John Hunter Nemechek and whoever else that are all his drivers. Is unless their contracts are up, they ain't going to drive for Kyle Busch next year. And Kyle Busch also said, I might have 2 trucks. It's whatever we can get figured out with Chevy and GM, he said.
Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree. He may have to take KBM back to a truck or 2 and then build back. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of Toyota tentacles involved in that can't be severed as quickly as what Kyle Busch is from Joe Gibbs Racing. How would you like to be Brixton?
Yeah, that was a jaw drop for me moment when he brought Brexton and Samantha up there. I knew it had something to do with Brexton. It was gonna be something with him because the way he was talking. But the fact that he gave, I don't know if that was a Kyle Busch thing. That might have been like a, can you do this? But like that might have been a Richard Childress doing Richard Childress. But the fact that he came up there and gave Brexton a future contract at RCR when he's of age is fucking huge. Crazy cool.
Did you hear the Hall of Fame guy tell Brexton, you better hang on to that because there might be a place for that in our house. In other words, in the museum.
Yeah,
Again, this is a little bit of things that maybe a lot of people don't know, but it reminded me very, very much of the story. And Dale Jr. tells it every now and again. When he and Ricky Hendrick were kids, playing on the infield while their dads and whatever were racing, they wrote, and I hope, and I've not seen it, I don't know if it still exists, but he tells the story where him and Ricky made a contract with each other on a napkin that when they came of age, they were both going to race for Hendrick Motorsports. This is back, obviously, when Dale Sr. was an RCR employee and not owning his own DEI company. But it kind of gave me remnants of that, where here this kid is, what is he, 9, 10? If that?
Oh, I can look it up.
I don't know that he is even 10 years old.
I don't think so.
7. And he's on a national stage with one of the biggest owners in NASCAR history, accepting a contract for a future driving position.
And like I said, he's 7, so he can start driving by the time he's
in
14,
9 years.
Well, he can drive 14 in the younger lesser series, and then he'll work his way up, kind of like Chase did, the way he did. Because if you watch Chase, he was in the lesser series and worked his way up. So I think
you got to be 16 to get in the trucks.
Yeah, but I'm talking even before that. There's the NASCAR pre-whatever series. So, but yeah, I think it's 14, 15, and then trucks 16. Then ARCA can be like, I think 16 or 17. Then I don't even know the ages, but I know it's progressed. But I'm sure by 14 or 15, he'll be, if Kyle wants his future in that pertains to Brexton. So I'm sure if that's true, he'll be in an RCR powered Chevy, or shit, it might transfer the junior, because that's a rumor too.
You're right.
So it's good. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool.
That was one of the moments for history.
Yes.
Was watching that and then him shake RC's hand and that and the watch. that floored me when he came up and here's your signing bonus. That was so cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna just real quickly here. I love this. I love the move. I love him coming back to Chevy. I will be very interested as the years roll on to find out what really happened with JGR.
Yeah, we won't hear about that for...
It's going to be a while. I know that once Eminem Mars went away, they couldn't support his salary. I get that. I also wonder if when Kurt had his problem and Ty stepped into that 45 car, if that's what kind of flipped the switch. When they said, well, you know what? He's not necessarily contending, but he can do it.
Yeah.
And he's going to cost about half as much as Kyle Busch.
If that, for a start. If that, yeah.
Yeah, to be in that
and he can get sponsors, and yes, but they also said they got sponsors lined up. It's just they can't announce them yet because they want to get a set because sponsors are per race type thing. So they will announce at a later date. They said soon, but at a later date, his sponsors. I hope it's Good Wrench. Give him the 8 Good Wrench 8. Kyle Busch, that'd be funny.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, and I wrote in a blog this week. You know, everybody seems to be a little bit surprised about this move, and I was too in the when we first months ago started talking about this. But the more time went on, and then when Amarola re-signed after stating he was going to retire, and Stuart Haas basically got taken off the table.
There's only really one other option.
And then Tyler Riddick did what he did. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me get my head reorganized here and think about this a little bit more. And it started making more and more and more sense. And as I stated before, my sticking point was what are they going to do with Kyle Busch Motorsports? How are they going to get, because you like you said, you got those drivers that are contracted not only with Kyle Busch but with Toyota. So he may have to retool, but you know what? There's a lot of people he can pull that coming up from ARCA. And I don't think Kyle Busch is adverse to wrecking a few trucks to get some good talent in there and keep the organization going. Because
you realize RCR isn't new. They've been around the bush, so they have
50 years.
Yeah, he has talent down the road. He has eyes on or contracted to so he can put talent in those cars. It's kind of like Junior. Junior is for Hendricks, type thing. So And
I just thought of something. Maybe they parked Tyler Riddick at a KBM Truck Series for a year.
that'd be funny.
And Austin Hill.
Yeah.
And Austin Hill.
So they got developmental drivers of RCR they can put in those cars or those trucks.
I agree. Oh my God, that would be funny. Tyler, here you go. Here's your wheel. You just have to sit here for a year. I mean, and I like Tyler Riddick, but I do not appreciate in any way, shape, or form what he did. And I've never been a big RCR fan, and because I wasn't a big Dale Senior fan. And you and I have gone through the stories of when in my previous life I was able to get with hard passes into the pits and the garage, and some of the things I saw from Dale Senior that were less than flattering. But I've grown to respect him, and I don't know, this may have put the cherry on top for me to do what he did.
I like how they were.
And another.
Go ahead.
Well, another thing is, again, I don't know if anybody or if you know this. You know who the catalyst was in all of this?
Austin Dillon.
Yes.
He's the one that suggested, hey, you think we put, Kyle Busch in the car? When
Tyler Riddick did what he did, it pissed him off so bad, he's the one that went to his grandpa and says, do you think we can get Kyle Busch over here? And he's the one that started it all.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead.
Richard Childress said he
didn't think it was possible.
Yeah, he just didn't think it was going to happen. And then, like I said, it was the Tyler Riddick thing that kind of tumbled that domino.
Yeah.
And then Austin Dillon said that. Or
obviously this is like pre-way mature yearly, but Kyle Busch in that 8 will win at least 3 or 4 races next year in that 8 and be in the playoffs, at least top 8 in that 8 for next year.
All right. I'll take that and do you one better.
You think he'll be top 4?
He'll win the championship next year in that 8
I thought about that. Like, how cool would that be if he actually went in that 8, won the championship? And that'd be like, you, Joe, type thing.
Yeah. And and again, I'm sure we're going to have to wait many years for the books to come out. What happened?
Because they can't. He can get sponsors, because if Richard Childress can acquire sponsors, Joe Gibbs could. So what was Joe not willing to pay the salary that he wants? I'm pretty sure it's come down the money.
Well, but you think about, I mean, let's face it, Kyle Busch isn't the easiest person to get along with.
No, and that's what Richard likes. Neither is Dale.
Joe Gibbs. Yeah, well, Joe Gibbs has put up with it for 15 years.
Yeah.
All the anger management classes and
I think we're going to see a different Kyle Busch because of...
Oh, we've already seen a different Kyle Busch.
Well, I'm talking aggressive, because the way they were comparing him to Dale Sr. and being the intimidator, so he might get that rough edge of, Dale in him now. I'll just rattle his cage. So we might see a more aggressive Kyle.
Oh, I absolutely agree now that the deal's done. And again, a lot of comparisons between him. And I don't mean to compare him to Dale Earnhardt Sr. There's a lot of similarities. And Kyle Busch has come a long way. But I think with him, and they would not say how long this deal was, but all they would say is long term.
Yeah,
that's going to give him a lot of. I actually think these contract negotiations this year have affected Kyle Busch.
It has,
and his performance.
It has.
Now, granted, he's had a lot of mechanical issues and stuff that's out of his control, but I also think it's affected his aggressiveness.
Yep.
Before, when he'd have something go wrong, he would be screaming and yelling and Now he's like, oh, another one. You know, it's like, oh, gee, poor me. Almost like he expected things to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like you said, we're going to see a new fire in him. And I think he's going to obviously be the team, the leader. Austin Dillon is going to learn a lot from Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Kyle's bringing a
All
lot.
He's going to bring a lot to the kid. And the fact that Austin had so much to do with getting the ball rolling is also going to inspire Kyle to take Austin under his wing and talk with him. It's like, all right, hey, dude, you fucked up here. Here's what you should have done. Here's how you should have handled that, or kind of the way Kurt Busch has done with Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Setups and feel and things of that nature. But I know we beat it to death, and I know everybody knows all about it. It's just going to be, to me, I don't really think, in my opinion, that any more dominoes are going to drop. I think there's going to be other things that are going to happen, but I just don't think anything is going to happen before the end of the season. Now that this has happened, we're going to hear rumors left and right. It's going to happen. But now that this major one has dropped and we know what's going to happen with Kyle, there's going to be a lot of, the offseason is going to be very interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the next major announcement, in my opinion, is going to be Tyler Reddick is completely out of a job with RCR.
Well, that's one, but I also think Joe Gibbs is going to come out and say that Ty Gibbs going to 18 too.
There's no reason to even talk about that. I mean, seriously, it's just Ty Gibbs is in the 18 for 2023 and on. It's gonna happen. Martin Truex did say he's coming back next year.
He has 1
correct?
year left. Yeah, he extended 1 year.
Okay. Here's a little speculation. If Martin does actually retire after 2023, and again, this is pure speculation on my part, I think, because I'm pretty sure that Denny Hamlin's contract is up at the end of 2023. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I can see Denny Hamlin leaving Joe Gibbs and going to race for himself like Keselowski.
I can see it.
I hope that if that happens, and even so, if it doesn't, if Martin Truex leaves, Trevor Bayne better get a second shot.
Yeah, I think so.
He better get either the 11 or the 19. I don't care which. That man deserves to be on that track every Sunday. He's a good racer. He's proven to be a team player. So I'm just saying. All right, I think we got one thing left to do, which is Bristol, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I think this is the first time since they've ever done playoffs that they're going into the first elimination round and a non-playoff driver hasn't won a race. Usually someone wins in the first two and they always know they're in. So this is the first time they've gone in and no one, not a playoff race driver has won a race in the playoffs.
So far. And you're correct.
Who's gonna win?
Hang on a minute. I'm filtering one more thing. Come on, baby, catch up. I've had enough problems with you guys today. Uh, come on. Here we go. Wake up. No, I don't care about alerts. Stop it. All right. Let's do this a little differently. I think we need to leave Hamlin out of our predictions.
Yeah,
he got
he got out of his little his early on funk.
Let's go with Bubba, top 20 or and before you
Top.
answer,
What'd you say? What'd you say? It
Bubba,
froze.
top 20 or no?
Oh, okay.
And let me say before you answer, he's been there 7 times, and his average finish is 19.4. He has only one top 10.
No, sorry, not gonna happen. I'll say no.
I agree. All right. Who you going with the winner?
I'm gonna say Joey.
I'm going Harvick because he has to.
I was gonna say my heart wants to say Harvick. I want to say that my heart wants to say Harvick because he has to win because it's that's the only thing he can do. But I think Joey. But I think also Harvick will do whatever it takes, punt whoever it takes if he's in second to do what it takes to win. And this is one of those tracks where they haven't really had the speed, but track isn't really about speed. It's about handling and control. Yep. So if they can get that over there at Stewart
and
Haas,
Logano's good.
Yeah, I know. Good. Yeah, Logano loves this track.
10 races. Last 10 races, he hasn't won, but he's had 5 top 10s and 3 top 5s. Average running finish is 10th. But like I said, I'm taking Harvick just because he's pissed off. And I said that last week, but I'll go with it again.
I'm going to say Brad for the dark horse.
Okay. I'm taking Truex. So, actually, Eric Jones would be a good dark horse, too, at this track. All right. We're looking at right at an hour. I don't have anything else. In closing, I guess it's just like, man, what a week!
That was just crazy week of info, news.
It was yeah. I'm glad to see at least one thing settled. Now let's see where we go next with a lot of other things. But I am happy for Kyle and his family. And I'm telling you what that scene with Richard Childress and Brexton and Samantha, that's going to be on a screen in a loop at the NASCAR Hall of Fame someday.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have I don't know that you've been there or not. I have, and they have different places where they've got looping movies or footage of things. That's going to be one of them. That was just too cool. Just too cool. So, all right. Unless you got anything else?
Nope. That was it.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'm going to let Brian do his end of show spiel. Thanks to everybody. We appreciate it. And I'll let Brian go.
Obviously, if you're watching this, you pretty much know. But if you want to be on the go, you can listen to it audio-wise, pretty much at any audio platform, rss.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts. All you got to do is search Google, Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast will be the first thing that pops up, but just search it and we'll be there on any of your fun or favorite audio platforms. I rather watch the YouTube version. You can see all the information I have on the screen. You can see our faces, reactions, and blah blah blah. Like I have everything in there on the play, so it's just a lot of information there. On the video side, I'm glad you guys are listening. We are getting fairly average listens throughout the week. I know we're startup, but it's something. So good.
And I do want to say too, I'm a contributing writer at NASCAR-Nation.com. I'm an administrator on NASCAR Only on Facebook. So there's a lot of different ways you guys can get a hold of us and with us, and tell your friends and give us some feedback, please. We want more feedback. We want to hear what you think and what you like and what you don't like. So, and I hope you all enjoy the new camera. I got yelled at for months about the new camera. I got it.
Yeah.
So, all right, man, I'm done.
All right. Cue the music.